Hi guys. I just want to come on quickly and share some thank you cards that I made. I needed to make some thank you cards for some people that did something really kind for me. So I don't really like to buy cards. I prefer to make them. It doesn't take that long. So I'll do a quick show and show you the cards that I made. I tried to do all 3x3 and then I started using just scraps that I already had and I did not want to cut them. So um, I'll show you the first three. They do measure 3x3, and they're primarily using scraps that were in my stash. And I'll show you where I keep my papers. So if you look right there, this is a bag, and I keep all the pieces of scrap paper in here um, that need to be used up. And I just try to go through here. And actually making the 3x3 cards was really great. You use quite a bit of paper, and depending on how you layer it, and I think one of them I did layer more than once. So this is the first one. It's a 3x3 card, and this is actually a digital printout. I printed it on some printer paper, and I don't know why, but I had written on the back of it, so I went back and erased whatever was on there so it wouldn't show through. And I really like the paper. It's a digital kit. If you want to know who it's from, just leave a comment and I'll try to find it. But I really like that paper. I was making shabby chic cards before and I stopped, but I'm going to get back into it. And this paper is it's really pretty. And these flowers from Hobby Lobby, they're on the spool. They really coordinated well with the paper, so I pulled those out. And this is a doily that I folded and cut to make an envelope, and I'll open it in a minute. This is the Martha Stewart edge punch, and I layered that on here, and I hid it underneath this piece of lacy ribbon right here. But when this opens, there's just a little note in here, and it says thank you. If I can get it out one-handed. And what I did is I stamped it on a piece of scrap paper from this that was left over. I mounted it on a piece of just plain cardstock to give it some stability. And the inside of this card it has the cardstock, and I used a piece of still the same paper that was left over. I used that same Martha Stewart edge punch and put it underneath here just to use up a little bit more of that paper. On the back, I stamped it with a handmade, sorry about that guys. Oh, I didn't stamp this one. I have to stamp it. I always try to remember to stamp my name on things that I make. So, but I will definitely go back and stamp this one. And I'll put that back in there. This is the other card. It's also a 3x3 card. This paper is an old, at least 3 years old. It's Recollections. It's double-sided. So I pulled that out of my scrap bin. And what that was from, I was attempting to make a mini album when I first started learning. I never completed it, so I pulled all of those papers out, and I'm gonna use them up because they've just been sitting there. So this is Recollections. This is an I Am Roses flower, and those are I Am Roses leaves. And I don't cut my stems off of everything. If you can notice right here, I kind of rolled it up. And I apologize for my dirty fingernails. I used some black paint to color some seam binding, and that's what's still under my fingernails. So this is some seam binding that I got off of eBay a while ago. I'm still using that up. This is a piece of orange tulle, and I thought it coordinated well with the card, so I just cut that and about a 1-inch piece, and I folded it in half. I punched the edge of this with the Martha Stewart edge punch also, and then I already wrote my sentiment in there, and I used the same punch on the inside of there, and this one I did stamp. And I tried to keep them simple, not too over the top, because I know everybody is not into cards or a lot of embellishments, so that's what I did. And this is another 3x3 card using that same from that same stack of paper. And the red paper is the reverse side of this top piece. It's kind of like a reddish orange color. And I also wanted the card to have like a whitewash look, or kind of vintagey. So what I did is I took some chalk paint and diluted it with a little bit of water and brushed it on the edges of the card and on this little punch out. And this is actually a stamp, and I used a circle punch just to punch it out. They don't go together. I just hoped that it would fit, and it did. So a piece of I'm gonna call it ribbon because it's on a spool. I put that on here with some flat back pearls, and this is the butterfly punch. Hold on, let me see. Sorry, I don't remember who it's from. It's whoever makes these punches. Sorry about that, guys. EK Success. So that's an EK Success butterfly punch. It's the one with the 3 different butterfly cuts on it, and I just used 2 of them. There's that one, and then there's this one. So, and the inside I haven't filled in yet, but what I did for the inside is I took a piece of copy paper and I cut it slightly smaller than my card size, and I stamped this. This is actually a larger stamp, and just did some second generation stamping. I stamped it in I want to say Vintage Photo. I stamped it off and then I stamped it onto here, and that's what was left. So, and I'll write my sentiment on top of there in black ink. And the back is the same. I stamped it, I'll sign my name, and I usually put the month and the year that I made the card. And then I also needed 2 masculine cards. So this is the first one, and these are Sizzix embossing folders. How I made this is it's cardstock. I used some of that tape that you get from either Home Depot or Lowe's, and let me see, this is it. And I just put a piece on there, and then I punched it out with this punch. And the black piece, what I needed to do was, no, I'm sorry, I cut this. I didn't use that on there. I cut it. I think it's slightly bigger than 2 by 1, and I used the stub punch out part of this We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper, and that's how I got the stub. Then the centerpiece, the black piece that's mounted right here, this comes from the EK Success punch. And I used some silver, and I apologize for the shaking, guys. I didn't feel like setting up the whole mounting thing, just record these cards. So this is the paint that I use. Let me see it. It's a metallic silver, and I just kind of put it on a little sponge and rubbed it over. I didn't intend for that to get right there, but it's okay. It's a handmade card, so. And the inside is blank. I'll sign, put my sentiment on there. I'm not going to mount a piece of paper in there. And I stamped it in gold ink. I did not have any silver. If I did, I couldn't find it. And this is the last card. And I used that Tim Holtz stamp. I embossed it with the clear embossing powder. This is a jelly bean stamp set. And I used this one right here. And the thank you. And what I had to do, because the first time that I stamped it, it punched a hole completely through the paper. So I had to go back, and I put a piece of Scotch tape, 2 pieces of Scotch tape on the back of the cardstock before I stamped it. Then I cut it out, and then when I punched it, it didn't tear the paper, and it didn't leave it didn't damage it. So if your paper where you use a punch is not strong enough, or you're doing fussy cutting and you need those, that, like say you're doing a piece of hair and you need it to not be flimsy. Add some Scotch tape to the back of it before you start cutting it, and that'll give it some stability. So, and this is a Sizzix embossing folder also. And both of these, one is like a, I don't even know how to describe it. This one to me is like a tire tread. I'm not sure the name of it. I should have written it down. And the other one is like a metallic, I can't think of it. But they're both very masculine. So I just did the embossing. I don't have a lot of male things to make cards with, so I kind of use what I have. The inside of this one is blank. And I still stamped with the gold ink, and I will write my name. And those are my cards, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please like this video, and have a great night. I'll see you soon.